Well, are we going to get high or what?
Yes.
All righty.
So, welcome everybody to a very special edition of the Cannasseurs Quadcast podcast. We have a very special guest this evening, all the way from Amsterdam, Miss Mila.
The hash queen. Thank you so much for actually making it down here. We really appreciate you coming down to the Quadcast studios out here
Yes.
at the Dankport. And we're lucky enough to have you here because of Dab-A-Doo, the Dab-A-Doo event that happened yesterday in Hamilton.
Yeah.
First is first. Let's start talking about that. What were your thoughts on the Dab-A-Doo yesterday?
It was a really great Dab-A-Doo yesterday. It was organized so well. The food was delicious.
Oh, yeah.
The people were wonderful. And I always love at the Dab-A-Doo to see everybody communicating together.
Yeah.
For me, it's a large part to bring people together.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, for us, it was like, once again, the cannabis community that we are all kind of part of out here in Ontario.
Yeah.
And shout out to 905 Tammy, who did an amazing job setting everything up. I mean, an event that big.
Totally amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, everybody. Got some hard shit to do, man. To turn out as successful as it did, and everybody left more than happy. Everybody left more than satisfied with a giant-sized judge bag. Probably the most. I don't know, because for me, I guess I don't do concentrates, so it's tough for me to even grasp. Like, we got to number 9 and I was useless. I believe there was, I think that wasn't even halfway. So, but did you get a chance to try some of the entries? What did you think?
I did try all the hashes, and they were very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Good quality. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything ring out in your mind as one of your favorites, or what do you typically look for? What is it that makes you feel this hash is, above the rest? Like, what is it you're looking for in terms of quality?
The high. When we started making...
So the high
Okay.
is the most important.
Yes.
I mean, ultimately, yeah, that's getting down to the nitty gritty of it, I guess.
I mean, when we started making hash, the word cannabinoid, terpenes, I don't know if they'd been invented yet.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we'd never heard them.
I'm not
So-
talking about the molecular breakdown. I was saying, like,
Yeah.
do you like certain flavors? Is there certain, like, aromas of the hash or smell, things
Yeah.
that give you the idea or give you that it's going to be a good smoke?
But we just had two qualities. It was good or it wasn't.
That's how I treat
Yes.
it.
And
You know what?
no
That's how me
long-
and Mayhem treat flour.
And no long, complicated chemical discussion about how it was all done and what they all did to it.
Okay.
It was either good or bad.
1,000%. I agree with you there.
The
We're-
end result is what counts.
Yeah, me and Mayhem always say there's either good weed or bad weed, right? Yeah, so absolutely.
Well, I must say I never smoke weed, but
I know.
I follow that principle.
It's
with
child's
hash.
play for you.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just
yeah.
I understand. You're on a whole different level. We can, and the hash you're smoking is obviously probably some of the best in the world, nonetheless. But I don't know. Give us a rundown on number one. The more of the speaking of the hash world, what actually revolutionized it in a way in terms of how things were done, the Pollinator.
Yeah.
What is it? How did you? What's your response generally when you go out and you show people the Pollinator? How do hash makers generally take that in?
Well, now they know about it, but in the beginning, of course, the thing was that hash has been made for thousands of years, but it was always a manual job. And I was in the East, I was in Afghanistan, Pakistan, all these countries from '68. I stayed 20 years in India. And I must say, the Afghan hash really hit me when I got there.
Yeah.
And all the time I was in India, if I could get a hold of it, I'd be smoking Afghani. For me, they're my true hash gurus.
Okay, so you just basically answered my next question. Out of India and Afghan and everywhere else you've traveled, where have you found to be the best hash that's available?
Well, in the old days, it was definitely Afghanistan. Now there's all kind of new products coming on the market, and people are inventing all new ways to make hash. So this is very interesting. Okay, maybe I made the first mechanical system to separate trichomes from the plant, but this knowledge has been going further and further, and now you get products that I wouldn't even recognize as hash sometimes.
Some of the things we've seen, I can imagine because you've been all over the world. I mean, Dab-A-Doo has taken you pretty much everywhere.
A lot of places.
And what would you say, what's your most memorable device you've seen? You know, I know there's been a lot of smoking devices out there that you've come across in your travels. I can imagine you've seen some pretty crazy ones. Is there anything that sticks in your head more than anything else?
A chillum.
The chillo.
Yeah. When I reached India, we didn't have too much money, so we ended up living with the sadhus in the temples, and that was chillum time before breakfast. chillum time before they even made the chai.
That was the morning ritual.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And alas, at my age, I can't really enjoy the chillum so much anymore. I have to be more cautious with my lungs.
Oh, man. Yeah. When a cheesecloth is the filter device.
Yeah.
That's a harsh one, but it hits. I mean, the delivery method is great.
Yeah.
I think in terms of you can taste the hash amazingly. It definitely gets in your lungs pretty hard. But yeah, so did you manage to talk to the gentleman who had the chillum stand there yesterday?
Yes, definitely, and he was a very nice guy.
What did you think of the ceramics? I'm sure in India you saw more of the clay style. What did you think of the
clay style. When we were there, actually, there was no real decorations on chillums yet. They were just utensils, and were just a clay tube and a stone in it, and that was it. Now, of course, they've become a whole art, and he had some very nice ones.
Yeah, some of those ceramic ones.
Were the original ones you saw, were they made out of clay?
Yeah, I think all of them were.
Yeah,
I think
India
that's a
mostly.
traditional how they make chillums.
That's amazing. Yesterday we were lucky enough to have him stop by the shop one point, and we were able to try it out. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, for me, that's a hard hitter. That one, if you want to smoke hash,
Burns the lungs.
and you want it to just get in there, chill up. Get yourself a chill up. I don't know what else to tell you.
And I must say also, when I was in Afghanistan, I enjoyed the hookah a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, when I arrived in Afghanistan, that was a strange story. It was in the middle of the night, and we were just drinking tea. And then the custom police came over. And what did they bring with them? A chillum. No, not a chillum, a hookah. And they had all the ingredients to have it function. And we all smoked a hookah with them. I was traveling with the 6 guys at the time and my daughter. And as soon as we finished the hookah, I said in this very deep voice, "Welcome to Afghanistan." It was like midnight in September sometime in 68.
I think you were getting, baptized into Afghanistani culture at that point.
That was their welcoming committee.
Yes.
They came with the hookah.
And in that time, it was wonderful people, so hospitable and sharing and everything. But this was long before the Russians came and before the Americans came.
Before everything got tainted.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was like 68, you're saying, at the time. Which I can imagine at that point, much like Iran before the Ayatollah was a whole different world.
Yeah, but I was there in Iran also in 68, and I don't know, for me it felt as maybe there had been some great earthquake or some national disaster. The people were not relaxed there. It was a kind of weird atmosphere.
I think it was around that time that the transition was happening.
Well, it was actually about 5 years later, I think, that they kicked out the Shah, but maybe there was already a lot of underground
There had
tensions
to.
about that
something
thing.
like that definitely does not happen overnight.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different other podcast.
Yeah.
That's a whole different. We're gonna keep. I know you got a flight to keep tomorrow, so you'd be here for a while if we went up on that one. Especially with what you know, I'd love to pick your brain on that.
Yeah.
So in general, obviously your newest endeavor, which we're kind of excited about here as well as we're in the hydroponics, is the seeds.
Yeah.
Tell us about your seed company.
Well, I must say honestly that actually I never wanted a seed company before, because I find it a very competitive business and I wasn't really up for it. But then a while back, 1.5 years ago, I sent a bunch of original Afghan seeds to a friend of mine from Third Gen Seed Company. Never heard from him until I got back there 10 days ago, and he had crossed all these Afghan seeds with his OJ Kush,
Yeah.
and made me a seed company.
Just like that, right? I mean, when you
Thrown in
have
there, you just got thrown into the mix.
when you have the kind of clout that Mila the Hash Queen has, I don't see that being a hard thing to acquire. You know, I think there'd be a lineup for that one. But that's amazing. I mean, to actually have that nice line, and also to have
Yeah.
something where your genetics are kind of like
Yeah.
intertwined in what's happening right now.
And
in
not
the-
my
in the
personal
industry.
genetics, because I didn't personally get the seeds from Afghanistan.
Well,
They were from a very good friend of ours up there. Yeah.
Well, someone I'm pretty sure you would definitely be the collector on that side, and that to me, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's one thing to grow it, but you got to find the people that can get it to the people, and at least someone who can identify the quality of it and get it out to the masses, so they can actually get something nice in their garden.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But and now obviously, if they want to get a hold of, if they want to purchase something like the Pollinator or
your
was it
seeds.
or
The
the
seeds. They should just write to info@pollinator.nl.
info@pollinator.nl, and the website also, if you guys want to check it out, is www.pollinator.nl. We will post all of that in the podcast description as well for everyone to see, and have the links there as well. But let's just say final thoughts about the entire experience with Tammy. Driving around with our local
Royal
king
Oil
here. I know you got taken around with our friend John from Royal Oil Rubs, and
It couldn't have been better, I tell you.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that's a
couldn't
pretty
be
sweet
better.
deal.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sweet deal.
Yeah.
But like for us, I mean, as I'm sure Tammy, we're super honored that you made some time to come out here and see us, and we're super happy that you're here, even having a podcast with us for a short time. And
Me
we'd
too.
love to keep you for a heck of a lot longer, but we know you got 1,000 things to do. So
I'll be
yeah.
back. I'll be back.
We're gonna hold you
Yes,
to that.
we can't wait.
We are gonna hold you
cannot
to that.
wait. Yeah, I'll be back.
But yeah, everybody, Mila the Hash Queen, thank you very much for.
And thank you all for welcoming me here. And I love you.
Absolutely.
Yes, we love you too.
Thank you.
And please, last info, please stay high.
Stay high. Love it.
Words of wisdom.
That is words of wisdom. Thank you so much, dear. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Fuck you! It's not illegal, bitch!